2 Samuel 3. However, the war was prolonged between the houses of Saul and the houses of David. David was becoming steadily stronger, while the house of Saul was becoming increasingly weaker. Now sons were born to David in Hebron. His firstborn was Amnon, born to Ahinoam the Jezreelite. His second son was Caleb, born to Abigail, the widow of Nabal the Carmelite. His third son was Absalom, the son of Maacah, daughter of King Talmiah of Geshur. His fourth son was Abijah, the son of Haggith. His fifth son was Shephatiah, the son of Abital. His sixth son was Ithream, born to David's wife Eglah. These were these sons were all born to David at Hebron. All right, I'm just going to pause there. Chat was blowing up. I wanted to see if I missed anything, and I saw an anonymous gifter gave a sub, and I wanted to make sure I hit that. So thank you for the sub. Appreciate that very much. It's funny how something so small can make you feel appreciated. So whoever that was, giving a gifted sub to Jethro, spectacular. Appreciate that. Thank you for that gifted sub. Hope you enjoy that, friend. If you do have ideas for new emotes, I'm not ready, but in another month, I'll probably be thinking about what are some new emotes I can have. Spartan Eric, hey there. Good to have you here. I think I've seen you around, but it says just new, so maybe not. An anonymous gifter gave Bud Mayotte a tier 1 sub, and now we have ads emote. Okay, DM me that so I'll remember. We have Hype Train, baby. Can't sleep. It is a blessing to be able to tune in here and get some of the word in the morning. I appreciate that.
Reads the Bible, but not in vain.
He's a rolling, baby.
He was gathered there, I'm feeling pain.
Got that one.
Holy words that break. Joint streams.
Like St. Denise.
After blazing fingers.
Thank you for the one bit I'm watching. Roll it. They who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. What? That is weird. Why does it receive the Bible passage after one bit?
Christian it was style.
That's weird.
Preaching love mile after mile. Chaz a little laughter all the while. Join the streams.
Sir, could you spare a sub for a stream regular? Jethro Spectacular is paying forward the gift they got from anonymous gifter in the community.
Oh, it shines so bright.
Another
God is so awesome. Light.
I mean, it's been a while since I've had a hype train going, so it's fun. I think I've had one on
Flat cap,
on my other channel.
Style, preaching love mile after mile.
I don't think the Fish channel's ever had one. There we go, getting all the email. I was joking, but yeah. Well, I knew you were joking, but yeah, you have not because you ask not. In some ways, and whoever anonymous gifter is, thank you so much. Appreciate that very much. I think emotes are fun. It is one of those, like, I do this so often now in side conversations or in Discord chats. I am constantly
guiding souls with a beacon light.
I'm constantly putting in thank you for using your points on that.
Wow. Join the stream, stay full or smile.
Let me turn my mic up just a little bit then.
Damn, this digital be shine so bright. Guiding souls with a beacon light. Chats with the flock.
It's helpful when you let me know those things.
Faith and fun, yeah, they're taking flight. Yeah, they're taking flight. Join the stream, stay forward, smile.
Yeah, and the Hype Train song's only at 11%. So, and I turned it down. It says it's 11%. Not super loud. Oh.
Live streaming church online.
Catch a W. Hey, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Noticing on this camera angle, you can fully see the on stream over here that's rolling on behind me. Not the only one. It seems to be a trend. There are a lot of people that you just can't always lurk in their channels anymore because the sound like they're on 20% when you have them on 1%, and you can't have the sound of people doing things on stream when you're in a Zoom meeting. No, you can't. How is everyone? I'm doing well. We got a hype train going on, and a lot of blessing going on. So, well, I do know that when I switch back and forth, sometimes things get switched and changed. And yeah, there has been something going on, and I don't know what it is, where my microphone's, like, I used to have my microphone, in order for it to function well, at like 200%. Okay, I don't even have it at 100% now. So I don't know what's going on with that. You've had people tell me your audio is too low for them, but when I watch your VODs, your volume levels are fairly loud. Yeah, I do try to keep all of the extra things not on full bore. So like the blurps, I don't want those super high, so that it blasts anybody out that's not expecting it. So, oh wow, I have a fish. That is super cool. Look at the emote I just got. Look at that emote. My goodness, that is an emote. I love that emote. Problem is comparing to other streams. Watch your VODs while also watching other streams in the background. It's always interesting to end up with a bunch of gifted subs that you didn't realize you had. Gmo to Gemini. Welcome in.
Words of wisdom flowing free, stories ancient as the sea. Chats alive and full of cheer, feel the spirit drawing near. Oh, and
isn't that a cool fish? Oh my goodness, I love it. It swims around, and then it blows a heart. Oh, man, that's just super cool. Super cool. All right. Thank you, everyone, for the subs, the bits, the tips, all of that stuff. Super appreciate all of that. And everybody that got one, I hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoyed with any of the emotes that I got. All right. Oh, that's where we were. I had read through the names of the wives, and then we need to pick up the reading. So I did pause in the middle of reading, but typically we just keep reading through the text until I finish it, and then we discuss it. So I'm going to jump back to doing that, finishing reading. As the war continued between the house of Saul and the house of David, Abner was becoming more influential in the house of Saul. Now Saul had a concubine named Rizpah, daughter of Ahiah. Ishbosheth said to Abner, "Why did you sleep with my father's concubine?" These words from Ishbosheth really angered Abner, and he said, "Am I the head of a dog that belongs to Judah? This very day I am demonstrating loyalty to the house of Saul, your father, and to his relatives and his friends. I have not betrayed you into the hand of David, yet you have accused me of sinning with this woman today. God will severely judge Abner if I do not do for David exactly what the Lord has promised him, namely to transfer the kingdom of the house of Saul and to establish a throne of David over Israel and over Judah, all the way from Dan to Beersheba." Ishbosheth was unable to answer Abner with even a single word because he was afraid of him. Then Abner sent messages to David saying, "To whom does the land belong? Make an agreement with me, and I will do whatever I can to cause all Israel to turn to you." So David said, "Good, I will make an agreement with you. I ask only one thing from you. You will not see my face until you bring Saul's daughter Michal when you come to visit me." David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, son of Saul, with this demand: "Give me the wife Michal, whom I acquired for 100 Philistine foreskins." So Ishbosheth took her from her husband, Paltiel, son of Laish. Her husband went along behind her, weeping all the way to Bahurim. Finally, Abner said to him, "Go back." So he returned home. Abner advised the elders of Israel previously, "You were wanting David to be your king. Act now, For the Lord has said to David, by the hand of your servant David, I will save my people Israel from the Philistines and from all their enemies. Then Abner spoke privately with the Benjamites. Abner also went to Hebron to inform David privately of all that Israel and the entire house of Benjamin had agreed to. But Abner, accompanied by 20 men, came to David in Hebron. David prepared a banquet for Abner and the men who were with him. Abner said to David, let me leave so that I may go and gather all Israel to my lord the king, so that they may make an agreement with you. Then you will rule over all that you desire. So David sent Abner away, and he left in peace. Now David's soldiers and Joab were coming back from a raid, bringing a great deal of plunder with them. Abner was no longer with David in Hebron, for David had sent him away and had left in peace. When Joab and all the army that was with him arrived, Joab was told, Abner, the son of Ner, came to the king. He sent him away, and he left in peace. So Joab went to the king and said, what have you done? Abner has come to you. Why would you send him away? Now he has gone on his way. You know Abner, son of Ner. Surely he came here to spy on you and to determine when you leave and when you return and discover everything that is going, that you are doing. Then Joab left David and sent messengers after Abner. They brought him back from the well of Sirah. But David was not aware of it. When Abner returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside at the gate as if, as if to speak privately with him. Joab then stabbed him in the abdomen and killed him, avenging the blood of his brother Asahel. When David later heard about this, he said, I and my kingdom are forever innocent before the Lord of the shedding of blood of Abner, son of Ner. May the blood whirl over the head of Joab and the entire house of his father. May the males of Joab's house never cease to have someone who is running sore, or a skin disease, or one who works at the spindle, or who falls by the sword, or one who lacks food. So Joab and his brother Abishai killed Abner because he had killed their brother Asahel in Gibeon during the battle. David instructed Joab and all the people who were with him, tear your clothes, put on sackcloth, lament before Abner. Now King David followed behind the funeral pallet, so they buried Abner in Hebron. The king cried loudly over Abner's grave, and all the people wept too. The king chanted the following lament for Abner. Should Abner have died like a fool? Your hands were not bound, your feet were not put in irons. You fell the way one falls before criminals. All the people wept over him again. Then all the people came and encouraged David to eat food while it was still day. But David took an oath, saying, God will punish me severely if I taste bread or anything else before the sun sets. All the people noticed this, and it pleased them. In fact, everything the king did pleased the people. All the people of Israel realized on that day that the killing of Abner, son of Ner, was not done at the king's instigation. Then the king said to his servants, do you not realize that a great leader has fallen this day in Israel? Today I am weak. Even though I am anointed as king, these men, the sons of Zeruiah, are too much for me to bear. May the Lord punish appropriately the one who has done this evil thing. All right, we got ads rolling in. I was trying to squeeze that in. So hopefully we made it.
She's got that flat, they can wait. I with a cheerful heart, no lie. Preaching joy so high to the sky. He'll be right back. Yes, he'll be right in 2 or 3. Yeah, to this break, no mistake. Joy they made 2 or 3. This break, no mistake. Joy they back in 2 or 3.
Yeah, he Joabbed him in the abdomen. I like that. I like that. That was nice. That was nice. All right. So the war is prolonged between the house of Saul and David. David had become steadily stronger while the house of Saul is increasingly getting weaker. So we're just going to get an update. This is ongoing. Okay. Now, sons were born to David in Hebron. Okay. So up to this point, we know of 2 wives of David, 3 if we count his first wife, which will come back into the situation here in a minute. His firstborn was Amnon, born to Ahinoam the Jezreelite. So that's the wife that he had before he met Abigail. His second son was Caleb, born to Abigail, the widow of Nabal the Carmelite. So 2 wives, 2 sons. Wait a minute. His third son, Absalom, the son of Maacah, daughter of King Talmi of Geshur. Okay, well, we have 3 sons, 3 wives now. His fourth son, Adonijah, the son of Haggith, okay, another wife, another son. His fifth son was Shephatiah, the son of Abital, another wife, another son. His sixth son was Ithream, born to David's wife, Eglah. These sons were born to him in Hebron. So 6 wives here. And we're going to see later on, he asked for Michal to be returned to him, wife 1, OG wife, but wife number 7. So this is not a good plan here. Kings were told not to multiply wives to himself. David is fighting battles here. Other than the mention of the king Talmi of Geshur, are these wives for political alliance? Why is he marrying these women? It doesn't say. But one of the things that the Bible never does, it never endorses multiple wives. What it does, it tells us stories of men who have multiple wives and then tells us all the problems that causes. And lets us come to the natural conclusion that's a dumb idea. There's no, honestly, there's no good coming out of having that, Meek Meester, welcome in. Okay, I do want to quickly try to go look up some of these names because I love looking up names. So 2 Samuel 3. We'll look up some names of kids here. His firstborn was Amnon of Ahinoam, Caleb of Abigail. Oh, yeah, wife of Nabal the Carmelite. The third, Absalom from Maacah. The fourth is Adonai, the son of Haggith, son of Haggis. Fifth was Shephatiah, the son of Abital. That sounds like a prescription drug, Abital. The sixth was Yithream, by Eglah. All right, we got a lot of names there. Okay. So Amnon, and I'm not going to sound all these out. Amnon means faithful. His mother is Ahinoam. My brother is delight. That sounds nice. Caleb, like his father. Or sorry, Kilab. Looks like the way it's pronouncing it up here. Kilab, like his father. Abigail, my father is joy. Absalom, my father is peace. So you can see Salem or Shalom. Abby Shalom would be another way of doing this, but you shorten it. Absalom, Abby Shalom, whose mother was oppression. So his mother's name is oppression, and his name is my father is peace. That's weird. Just saying. Adonijah, my Lord is God. Haggith, festive. And Shephatiah, God has judged. God has judged. Abital, my father is due. And Ithream, prophet of the people. Weird. And Eglon, a heifer. So his last wife is a heifer. And we've naming after animals, we have that means gazelle. We have other animals, heifer. That doesn't have the connotation we would take it today, but it's still funny. It's still funny. Okay, so 6 wives, 6 children. As the war continued between the house of Saul and the house of David, Abner was becoming more influential in the house of Saul. We have here in the text, was strengthening himself. The statement may have a negative sense here, perhaps suggesting that Abner was overstepping the bounds of political propriety in a self-serving way. Maybe. Now, Saul had a concubine named Rizpah, daughter of Aiah. Ishbosheth said to Abner, "Why did you sleep with my father's concubine?" So it does not say that he actually did this, okay? Ishbosheth, man of shame, says to Abner, "Why did you sleep with my father's concubine?" The words of man of shame really angered Abner, and he said, "Am I the head of a dog that belongs to Judah? This very day I am demonstrating loyalty to the house of Saul, your father, and to his relatives and his friends." So one of the things that we see here, whether it's insinuating that maybe Abner is doing some stuff for his own gain, is that just like his father Saul, man of shame, is jealous and believes that other people are out to get him. So just like his father ruins relationships with accusations that are false, like David wants to kill me and I'm going to kill David. David never wants to kill Saul. You slept with my father's concubine. Why would that be a problem? Because that would be usurping power. That would be trying to claim power over. If he slept with the concubine of his father, that would be claiming himself to be the place of king. So that would be an affront and offense. No wonder Abner is so insulted by this. I have not done such a thing as to usurp you. I have been working to establish you. I have been loyal. I've been loyal to your father, his friends, the whole house. I have not betrayed you into the hands of David, yet you accuse me of sinning with this woman today. So God will severely judge Abner if I do not do exactly what the Lord has promised him, namely to transfer the kingdom from the house of Saul and establish it to the throne of David over Israel and over Judah, all the way from Dan to Beersheba. So Abner's answer is, I am going to do everything that God has promised. I'm going to, instead of standing in the way of David becoming, I stood in the way of it because of my loyalty to your father. Now, my loyalty is gone. I'm going to go join the side of God who's establishing David's kingdom, and I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make it happen. Bye-bye now. Ishbosheth was unanswered. Man of shame was unanswered to answer Abner with even a single word because he was afraid of him. Like, yeah, you should be. Abner sent messengers to David saying, "To whom does the land belong? Make an agreement with me, and I will do whatever I can to cause all of Israel to turn to you." David said, "Good, I'll make an agreement with you. I ask only one thing from you. You will not see my face until you bring Saul's daughter Michal when you come to visit me." What a weird request. Why is he requesting his first wife? We'll wait and see if the text tells us later. But perhaps there's a level at which now Abner, like these stories are back to back, perhaps for a reason. Maybe the accusation of the house of, the taking of the concubine is a usurping of power. David maybe asking for Michal back is a power play because she's the king's daughter. So this legitimizes his claim to the throne as she was the first wife of his. Maybe there's something along those lines. But also, there could be another thing going on here. Maybe David, out of honor for Saul and Jonathan, wants to bring a member of the household under his protection so that the line of Saul does not die out. There could be something else going on there. We'll just have to see. But I'm just saying, as we're reading, that's interesting. Why is he asking for a wife? He already has 6 others. So David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, son of Saul, and demanded, "Give me the wife of Michal, whom I acquired for the Philistines for 100 foreskins." So Ishbosheth took her from her husband, Pallet, son of Laish. Her husband went along behind her, weeping all the way to Bahurim. Finally, Abner said to him, "Go back." So he returned home. So David makes the claim, I acquired her for 100 foreskins. It appears that Abner is the one bringing the letter from David directly to him. We already heard he fears Abner, so he's going to go along with this, giving it like. But it is hilarious. The husband is following along, weeping all the way. Like, Abner could just kill you, buddy. Like, but it does show that, well, okay, maybe it doesn't. Maybe the husband is out of losing power for being married to a princess. He's weeping, and maybe he doesn't really love her. I was going to say maybe the weeping shows he really loves her. The following behind, whatever it does, his life is turned upside down, and so I don't know. It's weird. Abner advised the elders of Israel previously, you were wanting David to be your king. Act now, for the Lord has said to David, by the hand of my servant David, I will save my people Israel from the Philistines and from all their enemies. So I'm going to quote what God has said. You already know it. You previously wanted him. How about we just go ahead and do it now? Then Abner spoke privately with the Benjamites. So why does he have to speak privately with the Benjamites? Because King Saul's from Benjamin, so they need something in return. Abner also went to Hebron to inform David privately, and all of Israel and the entire house of Benjamin had agreed to. So we get privately what they've agreed to, but we don't know it yet. When Abner, accompanied by 20 men, came to David in Hebron, David prepared a banquet for Abner and the men who were with him. Abner said to David, let me leave so that I may go and gather all Israel to my lord the king, so that they may make an agreement with you. So he comes, reports the news after meeting with all of them, and now he asks for permission to leave to go gather everybody to ratify the agreement that he has procured. Then you will rule over all that you desire. So David sent Abner away, and he left in peace. This makes logical sense. You came, you negotiated, you said you were switching sides. I will let you go and carry out the thing that you promised to do. Now David's soldiers and Joab were coming back from a raid, bringing a great deal of plunder with them. Like, why do we need to know there was a great deal of plunder with them? They're in high spirits. They were victorious, and they're going to see a traitor. That's why we need to know that. Abner was no longer with David in Hebron, for David had sent him away, and he had left in peace. When Joab and all his army that was with him arrived, Joab was told, Abner, the son of Ner, came to the king. He sent him away. He left in peace. So we're getting a just straightforward fact situation without details of why he came. So Joab went to the king and said, what have you done? Abner has come to you. Why would you send him away? Now he's gone on his way. You knew Abner, the son of Ner. Surely he came here to spy on you to determine when you leave and when you return and discover everything that you are doing. Then Joab left David and sent messengers to Abner. Okay. Question. Why doesn't David explain to him? No. He is negotiating with all of the tribes of Israel for me to be anointed king. He has left his position of serving the king, the man of shame. So he's on our side. Why doesn't David say that? Now, maybe it's not in the text because maybe David did say that, and Joab just doesn't believe it. You could see why his mind could be clouded by vengeance, that he doesn't want to believe it. He understands the ruthlessness of this man, and in a lot of cases, this would be logical advice. Then Joab left David and sent messengers to Abner. They brought him back from the well of Sirah, but David was not aware of it. So he sends messengers, and they bring him back. It said Abner had 20 men. How many men does Joab send? Well, enough to say he's coming back. Now, maybe Abner didn't take the 20 men when he left. It didn't say he did. It just said when he arrived, he had 20 men. When Abner returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside at the gate as if he were to speak to him privately. Joab stabbed him in the abdomen and killed him, avenging the shed blood of his brother Asahel. When David later heard about this, he said, I and my kingdom are forever innocent before the Lord of the shed blood of Abner, son of Ner. David has, in a lot of ways, like what we see demonstrated in David, is a high standard of what is legitimate for you to do within your power and what is not legitimate for you to do within your power. So yes, God has promised me to be king. Doesn't mean I get to kill the current king. Not within my power to shed the anointed, God's anointed. Can't do that. Here is a man who has switched sides, has turned on, is doing work for, and you take petty vengeance on him because he killed your brother in battle? Like, no, that was in the battle. That was not murder. Now you went and took and murdered to avenge your brother. No, this is bringing a curse upon you. And my kingdom are innocent forever before the Lord of the shed blood of Abner, son of Ner. May the blood whirl over the head of Joab and the entire house of his father. This is literally really getting into these curses. Like, may the males of Joab's house never cease to have someone with a running sore, or a skin disease, or one who works at the spindle, or one who falls by the sword, or one who lacks food. I want every male born in the house to have one of these problems. Right, so for on the spindle, one who works the spindle, this is difficult. Works at the spindle, follows driver, that expression, pejorative, describing an effeminate man who, rather than being a mighty warrior, is occupied with the tasks normally fulfilled by women. Topography of the books of Samuel, unmanly, fit only to do woman's work. Cowards, ooh, that'd be another way of saying it. Allegedly, Phoenicians use the noun to refer to crutches, adopts a different view. He translates the phrase clings to a crutch, seeing here a future description of physical lameness. Such an idea fits the present context well and is followed by the NIV, the NCV, and the NLT. Although the evidence for this meaning is questionable, according to DNWCSI, the noun consistently refers to a spindle in Phoenicia, and it does as it does in the Ugaritic. So they're sticking with the spindle. So yeah, then it's a phrase that's going to say, yeah. Yeah, that just makes sense to me, like, and saying, like, you play ball like a girl. Yep. It's that accusation kind of a thing, which fits. The being crippled, I don't know if we need to have that, but that could certainly be in here. So anyway, he puts a curse on. So Joab and his brother Abishai killed Abner. Oh, we didn't learn that his brother was partaker in this. Now we learned that his brother was a partaker in it, because he had killed their brother Asahel in Gibeon during the battle. See, their brother was killed during the battle. They kill under a pretext, I got something to tell you. David instructed Joab and all the people who were with him, tear your clothes, put on sackcloth, lament for Abner. So he lamented for Saul. He's now lamenting for Saul's commander because he was a mighty warrior. Now King David followed behind the funeral pallet. So they buried Abner in Hebron. The king cried aloud. Notice that burials happened like day of, like within 24 hours is the practice in Israel of burying people. The king cried aloud over Abner's grave, and all the people wept too. The king chanted the following lament. Should Abner have died like a fool? Your hands were not bound, and your feet were not put in irons. You fell the way one falls before criminals. So he's lamenting over Abner, not as long as for Jonathan and Saul, but he does this. All the people wept over him again. So David's words caused them to weep again. Then all the people came and encouraged David to eat food while it was still day. But David took an oath, saying, God will punish me severely if I taste bread or anything else before the sun sets. It's weird. Like, if I'm going to, do fasting, I don't go make these pronouncements about it. May God punish me if I eat food today. Maybe I should do that sometimes because, maybe that make it easier to go, nope, not eating. All the people noticed this, and it pleased them. In fact, everything the king did pleased all the people. All the people and all Israel realized on that day that the killing of Abner, son of Ner, was not done by the king's instigation. So we realize David didn't do it. It was somebody else who did this. The king didn't even issue the order to do it. The king is mourning, and all Israel realizes it, not just Judah. Then the king said to his servants, do you not realize that a great leader has fallen this day in Israel? Today I am weak, even though I am anointed as king. These men, these sons of Zeruiah, are too much for me to bear. May the Lord punish appropriately the one who has done this evil thing. So we had the curses earlier, and now he's saying to his servants, basically, like, I'm done with these boys. They have no honor. They should go serve the man of shame, is what they should do, or they have brought shame on their dad and their family and their household.